Hello?
Oh, it's working?
Yeah, okay, perfect. Yep, you can
All right, awesome.
transition back, please, to... No, we're live. Just transition back to casters. There we go, everyone. Sorry about the delay. So what I was saying earlier here is that we have a new producer tonight with Mr. Wojtek, and we have a new caster here, Mr. Schmelf, as well as a new captain with 12-inch and the footlongs, and they are playing Monkey's team, actually, new captain as well, everyone getting their way this season, wanting Monkey to be a captain. So we will have an exciting matchup. You got any thoughts on this, Schmelf?
I don't know. I'm really excited to see how top lane specifically plays out. I feel like both of these players don't normally get a chance to shine, but I think right now they're matched up in a way that's going to be really interesting to see play out. And I am interested to see how the substitution of Teague for Fruge is going to play. Um, I do think that both of them, from what I can tell, are considered to be more carry junglers than tank supportive players. So I wonder how that's going to change the dynamic of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely something to look out for here is the substitutes. My bad, I forgot to mention that the Verdant Monkeys will have a substitute jungler for tonight. Teague will be subbing in for Mr. Fruge. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to see this game. I think we've got some honestly pretty decent skill levels in all the lanes here. I mean, I think we're going to be looking at pretty even matchups, and I think we'll have a good game on our hands.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
So we will be getting into Champ Select here in just a moment. In the meantime, do you have anything, any insights maybe into what these teams might be picking here?
Well, I haven't gotten a chance to spectate either of these teams playing as a full squad together yet. I know that historically, Pokemon at least is known relatively well for his Gnar play, and his other tank play. While you have Hippogriff, who's more well known for carries in the top lane. So I think it's going to be interesting with the Gnar ban coming out, how these two styles end up clashing. Whether we see more bans getting dedicated top lane, on the side of or on the side of the Verdant Monkeys.
Yeah, absolutely. And as for bans so far, I think no one's surprised to see the Zillion, a very prominent pick for Verd last season. Again, like you mentioned, the Gnar from Pokemon has been banned away, as the the Seraphine and Senna have been banned from Tailwhip, who is, as most of us know, a Seraphine lover, not just in the game but on Twitter, as well as they've been spamming that Senna. Everyone is aware of that by this point, that the Senna has been being played a lot, as well as the Urgot. It's actually 12 inches highest or most, I don't know if it's his most played champ, but it's his most played champ recently. So they will be banning that away from him in the jungle. Teague is a known Kha'Zix player. It's a lot of what he plays, so the Kha'Zix ban will go out as well, and they will be picking up the Victor first for Althena, which I don't think is surprising anyone.
Really? What do you think of the Victor first pick? Do you think we're going to see any solid counter picks, and what do you think might come out from Verd's pick?
I think so. I think Victor is a relatively safe first pick compared to some. There is a traditional pick against Victor as considered kind of like a counter pick, which would be Lux in the mid lane, and that is something that Verd plays. It's a counter pick primarily because Victor has very little mobility, so if you ever get caught by your combo, she can kind of just kill you. But if you play safe enough and you play far back enough, I think it generally shouldn't be too big of a problem. See the Morgana pick coming in actually from Monkey, which is
and a Yasuo hover.
A little surprising.
Oh, back to Shen.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see the Shen either for Pokemon. Pokemon's played some Shen in the past few seasons, and that is a slight takeaway from IREP, as that was part of their. For anyone who doesn't know, and I don't feel bad about sharing this because they were streaming the games and played a ton of it. So the comp that the Footlongs drafted many times was Set, Urgot, Victor, Senna, and Shen. And so to see two of those picks away with the Senna and the Urgot, as well as one actually picked from them with the Shen, I'm not surprised to see that kind of strategy coming from Verdant Monkeys here. Also not surprised to see them still pick up the parts of the comp that they wanted that were left behind with the Victor and Set, and Trundle coming through for 12-inch here is also not surprising.
Yeah, and do you think that's going to end up being a Trundle jungle or a Trundle support maybe?
Yeah, absolutely going to be a Trundle jungle. That is one of
Okay.
his top 3 played
This is
champions,
what I get for
especially in the
not being
jungle.
familiar with the pools.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. He didn't play last season, so I don't blame you too much.
Yeah,
Yeah, his top 3 are Urgot, Pantheon, and Trundle. So
gotcha.
also not surprised to see the Kindred coming in for Teague. That's another one of his main picks. And actually a third ban going on to Tail Whip here is interesting that he's getting that heavy of a prio, but I'm curious to see what he will be curious to see what he'll bring out after these bans, and also curious to see if they'll put another one towards him here.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the things that I'm wondering about so far, even as we're looking at bans and picks, is what do you think of the drafts right now? Because I feel like the Kindred is very favorable into the Trundle, just because you're able to move around so quickly and kind of neutralize the pole or the pillar. Um, and then the top lane matchup seems to be relatively even as well. So I'm wondering how this is going to keep developing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious curious to see what they round out these comps with, because as is, I think both teams have generally gotten a couple comfortable picks that they wanted. So yeah, I'm definitely just curious to see how it's finished out here, because I know that the Footlongs here wanted the Victor, wanted the Set, are happy to get the Trundle, whereas Teague's comfortable on the Kindred, Monkey's very comfortable on the Morgana. Very interesting pick here for Verd is going to be the Vel'Koz. I know it is on his repertoire of champions, and he has been like practicing it recently. It's just interesting because I don't think we've ever seen. I could be wrong, but I don't think we've ever seen a Vel'Koz mid lane, possibly at all in TCL. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong there. Ooh, the Shaco coming through for IREP in the support there. A very annoying pick, as some of us know, who we might have either scrimmed against it or played against it in some of our custom games that we do. Because Shaco is definitely a pain, so I'm sure he's happy to get that.
I think I actually really like the Vel'Koz pick here as well. It goes back a little bit. But I think it matches up into Victor pretty well for basically the same reasons that you were talking about with Lux. Victor's immobile. Vel'Koz is pretty good at exploiting that. And the one big thing, though, is that Victor ult interrupts Vel'Koz ult. So I think that's going to be an interesting matchup to see play out.
Absolutely. I think it'll definitely be a farm lane. I mean, there could be ganks, but both. I think both champs will play pretty safe because both of them are pretty vulnerable to ganks. Ooh, a Tristana for Toasty.
It seems like bot lane's going to be spicy.
Yeah, bot lane should be interesting. We've got Ashe Shaco versus Tristana Morgana. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of fighting going on in the bot lane this game.
Yeah, and I for one am super excited to see somebody hop onto a Shaco box. Be it Kindred or maybe a Shen ulting in and then taunting, be a Tristana jump. It's going to happen. I'm pumped for it.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to watch out for those when you're playing against the Shaco, because they're going to be everywhere. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of sweepers on the side of Verdant Monkeys to help clear out some of that vision. I'm also curious to see how Monkey decides to deal with this. As most of us know, he tends to be a player that will support his team a lot with mid lane roams, as well as getting deep vision and control of the river. And that could be a little dangerous for Tristana, especially if she's left alone with a Shaco who's probably going to have Ignite as well as an Ashe ult. I'm curious to see if he will be, if Monkey will roam at all, and if he does, if Tristana will be punished for that.
Yeah, and I think there are probably some opportunities to roam, especially when you're looking at that pre-6 range before the Ashe era really comes online, and before they can get really solid catch onto the Tristana. But I also am wondering, where do you think Monkey's going to be roaming to if he tries to make those plays? Because top lane, getting a Shen ahead isn't really that exciting. Vel'Koz mid, that's fun. Vel'Koz gets ahead, can one-shot entire teams. Kindred as well, if you try and enable invades, that could work pretty well.
Yeah, I'd say it'd have to be in the mid lane. I mean, the thing about, and I'm wondering maybe if this is possibly a reason why Monkey went for the Morgana pick is Victor has one form of CC. He puts down his gravity field, I think it's called, and you walk through it and you get stunned. Well, Morgana's just going to drop a black shield on herself, walk through it without even being slowed or stunned, and then likely could just channel an ultimate on Victor. If he flashes, he can save the Q for Victor after he flashes. I think Victor is going to need a QSS here if he wants to stay safe in this lane, or excuse me, not QSS, a cleanse if he wants to stay safe in this lane, but I'd have to imagine that Monkey's just going to be roaming mid lane a lot. If he roams, he might need to keep Toasty safe.
Yeah, and I mean, even then, I think that seems like a decent-sized win for the Verdant Monkeys, just because if the Victor's taking cleanse, he doesn't really have anything to answer into the Vel'Koz all that well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Knockup E isn't cleansed by it anymore, or E knockup isn't cleansed by it anymore. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch how these potential early roams or maybe just early lane states play out.
Yeah, absolutely. All in all, though, I have to say, I think just from what I've seen of these two teams, we have played against both of them. I don't remember if we've had our full squad. My team, that is. Not gonna leak scrims here, quote unquote, but I've just seen some very solid play from the Footlongs. I think they are working well as a cohesive unit. They are practicing probably the most of any teams. They're practicing a lot. So I think that comps or not, I think they're going to have the upper hand here in terms of just cohesiveness as a team, as well as Verdant Monkeys are playing with a new jungler tonight. So I don't know if they've had any practice with him or not, but I would expect to see, with getting a lot of what they wanted in their comp with the Sad and the Victor comfort picks on Trundle and Shaco, I'd expect to see a really strong game here from the Footlongs.
Yeah, and I think that they've also got a very straightforward win condition too. They're looking for a big team fight with Ash Arrow engage, or maybe a pick with Ash Arrow, into just rolling over the mid to late game with Victor and Set. I think it's very executable, and I think that it's possible that the Verdant Monkeys run into a lot of problems with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say the Verdant Monkeys, a big kind of hope, especially later into the game, is that this Kindred gets pretty big. And if the Kindred does get pretty big, they have pretty solid support for the Kindred with the Morgana Spell Shield and the Shen ult coming through. So it's certainly not something that would be hopeless for them in the later stages of the game. I mean, there's strong scaling on both sides for sure.
But before we get into the game, and while we're still on load screen, we did get into the game. But I was just gonna say, I think that something we haven't talked about yet is Kindred seems really good into the Trundle, but it also seems like Set is a fairly decent answer because he can just anybody who's at risk of dying out of the Kindred ultimate, and the rest of the team can just pick them off.
Yeah, absolutely. It is definitely a solid pick for the Kindred in terms of answering specifically the ultimate. Another nice thing for Set about Kindred is if you are sitting in that Kindred ult and you get low, you can just save your W until that Kindred ult stops and then possibly just kill people immediately afterwards. Yeah, I think I'd have to agree that the Set pick should be pretty solid into the Kindred.
Yeah, do you know, this is a mechanical thing, but do you know if you still stat Grit while you're immune to death from Kindred ult? Ooh, a nice bind. That's some pretty significant poke on Althena right before the lane starts.
I mean, I would think so. I don't think they've changed that at all. I mean, I think you've always, because you're still taking damage while you're in Kindred ult. I mean, even when you're at the immune state, you'll heal up over it and then take like 1 or 2 damage, which I would think should keep the grit active. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
yeah, we're seeing pretty standard starts here. We got both sides starting on their bottom half of the jungle. Shaco has gone ahead and set up a couple traps here for Trundle in order to help him through this jungle here. Should help us clear a little bit faster. Yeah. Maybe he will get to that.
And I think it's important to note that means there are no traps set up in the lane, right? So it reduces the risk for the Verdant Monkeys of getting cheesed early in the bot lane. So it makes it a little bit more stable. And at the same time, Red Team knows exactly the route Trundle's taking. They have that ward on Raptors to track him up. And there was also a ward on their own Raptors, which I don't think spotted anything, but it let them know that there was no invade going on.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely have a pretty solid idea of where Trundle is at right now. I don't think we saw any early vision come down from the side of the footlong, so they probably don't know exactly where Kindred is right now, but I believe
they probably
would.
had an okay idea.
Yeah, they should probably have been able to spot out the leash coming through from the bot lane instead of Shen. One thing to note, though, is they actually have 2 sweepers already on the side of the footlongs, one coming in early from Shaco, so I imagine they're going to be... Oh, actually, an early gank coming in here from Teague. He's looking for Hippogriff. The taunt comes through onto Hippo. Hippo's still got his W. Teague's going to take a lot of damage here. He's going to have to be careful. Oh, Hippo actually flashes in after and has killed Kindred, and Tokimon is forced to flash away from the Trundle pillar coming through. Yeah, that was a misplay there from Teague. He had to be a lot more careful about getting close to Hippo there with the fully stacked W passive coming up. Well played there from Hippo.
That's an incredibly favorable trade. They got Shen Flash. They got... I can't see on stream at the moment if they got Kindred Flash as well, but that's exactly the kind of play you want to see out of Hippogriff to make this top side, make this strong carry, express this strong carry potential top side.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, T is actually coming in here for another gank. A few summoners were used earlier in the fight. He's going to be... Oh, the flash comes through from Tail Whip, but he is flashed afterwards, and they will get the kill onto Tail Whip. Well played there from Teague. 12-inch is actually coming in through as well. Oh, the Trundle pillar will still stop Monkey. He's getting very low. 12-inch will flash in to kill him. Toasty barely getting out alive. A lot of summoners used from both sides, but in the end will be a 1-for-1 in the bot lane.
Yeah, and I think that was a really good response from 12-inch. I think it was a good look initially from Teague. Or wait, sorry, I might be flipping this around. I think it was a good look initially from Red Team and Teague to go for the extended trade, but I think 12-inch did a really good job of being there on time.
Oh,
and something...
Oh, Hippo!
Oh
my goodness! Both top laners barely surviving with 1 HP up here. My goodness.
Yeah, and something that flew a little bit under the radar, by the way, that we weren't talking about because there was so much action happening, is that 12-inch was able to snowball that top play where Kindred died into a double crab, which is really significant for Kindred's early game because it means that they can't get the stack off that they normally would have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or would normally have the opportunity to.
Absolutely, and on top of that, as far ahead as Trundle is right now, he's already able to complete his team out, which means he's going to be clearing these jungle camps very effectively. Teague, in the meantime, is actually sneaking into bot lane he's going to look for another gank, but he is on the ward. I mean, he will not be seen currently as he's in the alcove, but they did see him sneak in here. See how long he decides to wait.
So do you think the Verdant Monkeys are gonna be looking for a dive here, or just trying to catch them out when they walk up too far?
No, I think they're looking to see if Shaco might come up to the bush and try and put a trap in. I mean, I'd have to say it's a little iffy anyways. I mean, Shaco could easily just Q away if they don't kill him right away. They'd have to start off and land a bind. Ooh, Shaco blocks the Q with this W. Very well played. Little fight coming through here. I think IREP's just going to need to try and get out of here. Well played to jump the opposite direction. The team is taking Dragon. 12-inch is getting incredibly low here. He's going to have to be careful. He's going to need to smite really soon. He needed to smite early to stay alive, and Teague is able to steal the Dragons. Teague will go down and die for it. Althena has come over to help. Monkey will likely go down here, dies to IREP. IREP is going to get killed in return by Toasty. Verd is kind of looking around the side here. He's going to have to be careful. He does not have his ultimate yet. And in the end, it looks like that was a 2-for-1, but they did pick up the dragon, and it was an Infernal Dragon, so that will have to be... actually, a solo kill coming through in the top lane. Hippo kills Tokimon. So...
Does that count as a 3-for-1?
Nah, I mean, not exactly. I would say the bot side play was definitely worth it for the Verdant Monkeys, trading essentially 1 kill for dragon. Definitely not worth it to have your top laner die solo, though.
Yeah, that was a... It seems like we didn't get a chance to catch it, but it seems like it was probably a pretty impressive play out of Hippogriff, just catching him right outside a tower and being able to actually confirm that kill.
Yeah, I can actually. I have the. I do have my own spectate mode up here, so I can double check here
All
what
right.
happened.
While you're checking, it looks like we have Kindred trying
Oh,
to
actually,
still get a gank on. Oh,
yeah, the ult comes through onto Althena, does not quite kill him though.
very close.
Yeah, he is forced to flash away there. Looks like in that top lane play, Hippo's just far enough ahead that he was pretty easily able to pull Pokemon forward and then just ult him outside of tower.
All right, and while that is going on, it appears that there is a fight evolving in Bot River.
Yeah, some
Seems
action
like
going on
it's
here.
being really
Trundle has
raised.
already gone down. Irip is coming in trying to look for this kill onto Verd. He's completely out of mana though. T wanting to find this kill. The exhaust comes through. Something we did forget to mention is that Ash actually does have exhaust instead of the typical heal. But yeah, in the end, it looks like that is just a free kill for the most part from for the Verdant Monkeys.
Yeah, and then they also get to pick up that first Kindred stack to try and get that snowball rolling. So I think all in all, that's a very solid play. Really
Yeah,
nice way to
absolutely.
establish an early lead. And the only thing it looked like they really burned there was Chenault. So
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely what they need, the kind of things they need to be looking for. Still a very big deficit here in the top side. Could we look at the gold numbers, please?
oh yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at already almost a
Ooh.
1,200 gold lead in that top lane for Hippogriff. Aside from that, we're looking at fairly even across the board, just a couple hundred gold off. But yeah, Hippo's really taken over this top lane. And I don't expect that to stop anytime soon unless Teague is coming up there and killing him without giving another kill back over this time. Looks like both junglers are on the top side of the map here. Teague will just be farming out. Looks like, yeah, 12-inch is actually looking to start up this Herald. He does have a pink on it already, so he's not on vision. As long as Teague doesn't come through here to check it, I think he should be able to get this pretty free, although Teague is roaming down. He's either going to look to check Herald or look for a topside gank here. Oh, they have spotted him out with a word from Verd. The Herald is still going. 12-inch is going to have to be careful. Oh, they might actually instead just give that up and look for the kill onto Althena. They're not going to find him. Looks like
Really well
12-inch
played.
should be able to get this for free.
And that was really nice out of Althena. Just gets in enough danger that he can bait Verd and Teague away from the Rift Herald so that 12-inch can secure it. Really, really solid. Even though it didn't look particularly flashy.
Right.
And I mean, when you look across this game, you can see that there's about I'm sorry, I can't read the gold lead at the top. It's a little bit fuzzy for me right now, but you can see that there are individual CS leads in pretty much every lane. With only the jungle from Team 12-inch being a little bit behind in camps. How do you think these small incremental leads are gonna affect the game as it goes forward? Even though we can see that, oh wait, looks like there's a play developing.
Yeah, actually, oh, I can't really see it right now. My apologies. Our stream quality on our side is a little low. Looks like the output on the stream is okay, but
Yeah,
a little hard to see at times. Yeah, looks like just some views. Nothing too crazy happening.
just a
Oh, actually, repeat coming in here though from 12-inch. Oh, aggressive play there from Monkey. Not going to find anything. The Shen ult is coming through. Monkey is barely going to get out alive. Looks like they've almost killed. Oh, he misses the flash taunt. They will kill Monkey in the end, and they also are going to pick off 12-inch, and in the end, it will be a 1-for-1.
Yeah, I think that honestly is about as well as you could expect it to go for the Verdant Monkeys, especially if they pick up this dragon on the other half of this, and just pick it up for free in addition to that kill.
Yeah,
I don't know.
absolutely.
I'm thinking the game's in a pretty decent position for for Team Verdant Monkeys. I don't think it's unwinnable by any means, but it's looking
they're
good so far.
definitely very happy to have those two dragons right away. They do have to be a little careful. I mean, trading 1-for-1 is definitely good for them. They probably aren't feeling it too heavily right now because it's hard to tell when you're in game, but they are down almost 2k. So they do have to be a little careful about the fact that one, Hippo is so strong up in this top lane, and that they are down a little bit in CS. Ooh, actually, looks like Raymond is 12 inch is coming up here. He will be dropping the Herald. They're going to be looking to take this first tower from Tokimon. If this first tower goes away, Tokimon's going to be Tokimon's going to be in a rough spot this game. It's hard to lose your tower pretty early as a top laner, especially when you're already behind. So he's going to be constantly on the back foot up in that top lane.
Yeah, and it's important, I think, that we see how Hippogriff plays this out now, because there are two very distinct ways I think that he could go about this, right? He could just throw the wave into Tokimon over and over again and look for roams and look for mid plays, that sort of thing. Or he could just wait until it comes back to him, set up a freeze, and then just try and starve the Shen out for the rest of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both are pretty good options.
He does have to be a little careful regardless of what he does. I mean, I would say as strong as he is, he should really just be joining his team here and pushing their leads as much as possible, purely because, I mean, it's Shen. He's gonna join the fight regardless of whether you want him to or not. So Hippo definitely needs to be there, because if Hippo isn't and Shen is, that's going to be a way that the Verdant Monkeys are going to be winning these fights.
Yeah,
looks like the gold lead at this point is actually starting to spread a little bit with that first tower going down. It's up to a 3k lead in the favor of the Footlongs.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's important to note that it's not, well, a lot of it's on Hippogriff, but it's not necessarily all on Hippogriff. You've got even gold. It's pretty scary, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Hippo definitely looking scary in the top lane right now with that 2k gold lead on Tokimon. Excited to see how he'll push that lead. Actually, a little fight going on.
It looks like Kindred is going on Trundle.
Yeah, a little fight going on there, but nothing coming of that. 12 inch does not want the fight with the Kindred. Could we actually get a stack check on Kindred?
Oh, wait, can we take guesses? Minus 3. Oh!
It's 3. Yeah, Kindred with 3 stacks right now. Reasonable, nothing too crazy. Definitely not falling too behind with those, but she'll want to be picking some more up soon here if she's going to keep her damage strong throughout the middle stages of the game here.
Yeah, and it seems like it's going to get harder and harder as the game progresses for Teague to actually pick up those stacks, especially when you look at how much pressure Hippogriff has topside. You can see that he just took the Kindred mark that spawned on the crab. So it's likely that if Teague wants to go for one of these marks, it's going to be on a camp like Raptors or Gronk, potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Hippo's looking for a fight here. Will actually he will be able to take down Tokimon. I don't think that's anything too surprising there. As far ahead as he is, it's going to be pretty hard for Tokimon to do anything if he's not going to be under tower. Ooh, Althena actually finding the kill on Verd. It looks like Ash got the assist there, so I think Ash managed to snag a ult there in the mid lane for the fat stun, and Althena was able to just finish him off with full combo.
Yeah, in like straight line down the mid lane, just on a great timing to kill Verd and up this tower.
Yeah, well played from Tailwhip there. Another tower going down in the favor of the Footlongs, and at this point they will be increasing this gold lead to about 5k, so it's looking a little more dangerous for the Verdant Monkeys as time goes on here. It's certainly not hopeless for them, considering they have some late game strength in a champion like Kindred, and they do have those early dragons, which will help a lot, because they're not going to be able to continue to contest all these dragons as they come up. They're not going to be able to get to that soul with this gold deficit, but they will be able to delay it from the Footlongs for possibly another 20-25 minutes. So Teague has actually come into the pit here, sees 12 inch doing Herald, might actually be able to take it away from him here. Looks like they just have more members on the side of the Verdant Monkeys, and the Footlongs will actually go ahead and give this up. Very well played there from the Verdant Monkeys. They're going to need that to break, probably, I would guess, this mid tower is what they're going to go for. It's going to be very important for them to break that, especially with this drag being up right now.
Yeah, and I think...
Oh, actually, the ult is coming out from a couple of these champs. TP comes in. A little hard to see what's going on here. Shen taunt coming through. Hippogriff ulting through some low health bars. gosh, my apologies. I really cannot see what is going on here. The stream quality is a little low. Looks like the Footlongs is pretty hard won this fight, just kind of taking 4 kills for 0 there.
Yeah, and I think that's I mean, obviously a big fight just happened, but I think one of the bigger things that, you know, we should recognize is that this all came out of the Footlongs not over-investing in that Rift Herald play. They knew when they were beat, they knew when they had numbers disadvantage, and they just checked out instead of trying to contest what might be 1 more turret, maybe 2. And they moved down, they got better dragon position, and they got the fight. Looks really good out of the Footlongs so far, and if you were in this position, if you were red team, what do you do here to try and get back in the game? How do you think they can proceed? Because they're obviously down a lot, and they don't even have dragon stacking.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at this point, you're so far behind, you just need to stall. I mean, their best bet is getting Kindred as many stacks as possible and hoping to find some potential picks possibly with the Morgana. One thing that's always really important, regardless of whether you're ahead or behind, but especially when you're behind, is getting vision down, because that's going to, 1, prevent you from getting caught and hopefully finding people to catch. Hippogriff actually going in here. Ooh, he's not able to catch Teague. Will ult Verd right away. They're looking to kill him, but he is very strong here. Oh, Hippo misses the W. He will be chased down by Teague here. The Ash ult comes through and connects with Kindred, and Kindred will just get absolutely destroyed there. Rip Kindred.
It's been on points with these cross-map ults this game. First you have the one going down mid lane, then that was all the way from bottom lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Irip actually looking for a very aggressive play here. We'll catch Toasty with the fear, but Toasty will manage to buffer that with that Tristana jump.
You know, and I think that's I'm not sure. I feel like if you're not jumping directly into the Shaco boxes, the Tristana matchup is pretty safe into it, right? You can see the box go down, you can sort of buffer your W away. You can
I would think so. Especially with the Morgana spell shield, you don't have to be too afraid of that Shaco. I mean, this pick's definitely annoying, but keep in mind he is also gone Moonstone, so he is a more supportive Shaco build. I can't say whether I necessarily... Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that or not. He's trying to find Toasty here. Tailwhip coming up to follow. Oh, the Shadow actually comes through. Very big shield onto Monkey, but in the end, I think it's probably unnecessary. Monkey will get caught by a Shaco box there, but doesn't really do much damage. Shaco actually coming in again here, looking for Monkey, and oh, Monkey manages to stay inside the Kindred ult. Good Kindred ult there to keep him alive from the Ignite. Toasty, you have to be careful here. Oh, Toasty just getting a little too greedy, I'd say, thinking that he could come up and attack that wave a little bit, but he just gets killed for it.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a risky play out of Toasty there. It's hard to just give up the wave in that kind of position, but I do think it's necessary, because otherwise you're just going to sort of spiral out and fall further behind.
12-inch actually kind of caught out here. We'll see if Teague is able to, with the Ash ult coming through, does not quite find him. Teague gives up the chase. I think it's just a matter of not knowing where the rest of the team is. He probably could have continued to chase there, but didn't know where the team was and decided it would be too dangerous.
Yeah, and I think the chase becomes sort of even more difficult to commit to when you think about the fact that there's a Shaco on the enemy team, right? You could be running into a box and it could not even matter if you're chasing, and the Shaco could also just be sitting over a bush or sitting over a wall in a bush.
Yeah,
just pop
absolutely.
Out and one-shot you with the turn from the one.
Well, I will say, you don't need to be quite as afraid of this Shaco, considering he's Moonstone and really not much damage, so not too much damage coming out from him. You don't have to worry about being assassinated by him, but in general, yeah, you do still have to be worried about the CC that's going to come through for him.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's good policy to just always be a little afraid of the Shaco. Maybe not the most
fair enough. I mean,
a little bit.
Yeah, he does have Ignite, you know, so
damage.
Yeah, he does have Ignite. You have to be afraid about running into the wrong Shaco as well.
Oh, yeah.
One thing to take note of here is continual CS leads from mid and AD, kind of what we were expecting, but in that top lane, wow. Yeah, Hippo is getting to the point where he's nearing on double Pokemon CS, as well as nearing on double his gold.
Yeah,
Absolute huge game from Hippogriff here.
It's a 4K gold lead top lane. From here, I think it's very difficult to even think about what you want to do about this set, because Shen can't match him in the side lane. He's just going to get run down and killed. And when you look at the rest of your team comp, you don't really have anything that makes a really solid answer. The Tristana can't match him. The Vel'Koz can't. Kindred probably won't be able to. So it really becomes this problem that sort of ballooned out of control.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, your best bet at this point is just to stick Shen underneath the tower and hope that Hippogriff doesn't try and dive him, even though he probably could. You just have to hope that you can stay alive as long as possible against him.
Yeah, and I mean, with set W, the tower might actually help him.
Yeah, quite possibly, because Shen's certainly not going to stack that grit all the way up to the full, so you might even need the tower to get your W fully stacked up. Next Ocean Drake will be coming up here, and this will be number 2 for the Footlongs. No contention from Verdant Monkeys. Not surprised to see that. They definitely can't contest. Wise move not to even think about it. And this is kind of what I was getting at, where this would be sold for the Footlongs if the Verdant Monkeys hadn't gotten those early couple drags. So at this point, if the Footlongs had Soul, this would definitely be game over. So this is part of what is keeping Verdant Monkeys in the game here, is the fact that they did delay the Soul with a couple of early dragons.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that it's really... when you look at how the game's developing, I think the Footlongs are actually playing incredibly well to be just slow and sort of methodical. They're taking turrets, they're taking free objectives, they're actually denying Kindred mark stacks, because if you look, the mark stack is still sitting on the Raptors pit. And Kindred here...
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, a little fight coming through. They managed to find 12-inch here. A couple of the defensive ults coming through for the Verdant Monkeys. Verd will go down as well. Oh, Set is in here, though. You have to be very afraid of him. He's getting kind of chunked. Doesn't have W up anymore. Monkey will be able to get out just fine. They just don't have the damage to finish these people off, though. Althena will be able to finish Teague. Tokimon is going to be getting very low here. Definitely will be going down. And in the end, initially looked really good for the Verdant Monkeys just picking up that 1-for-1, but in the end, it will go heavily in the favor of the Footlongs not only getting a couple of extra kills, but now able to break into this base and take down this first inhib.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at that play develop, for the first half of it, when it was looking good for the Verdant Monkeys, Set wasn't even in, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
4,000 of your gold lead was sitting bot lane, getting ready to hit a tower. But once he showed up, it seemed like it was pretty doomed.
Yeah, absolutely. Irip is caught by a Q from Morgana here. She will be able to follow. Oh, actually catches him with another Q, but you have to be careful. There's a Hippogriff here. Neither team really wants this fight too much, as I don't think they have much vision of the other team, so everyone has to be careful here. Nothing going to come of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I think it's getting harder and harder as the game goes on to try and play it out as the Verdant Monkeys. Just these resource gaps are ballooning.
Yeah, it looks like they... not quite. They still have not been able to pick up a single tower this game. Very sad for the Verdant Monkeys here. Maybe we're thinking about grabbing that mid tower there, but it's just not going to work out for them.
Yeah, and I think it's just too dangerous once you see the Ashe walking up. It's hard to push down the tower in lane phase anyway, because you've got... Oh, and it looks like we've got a Baron play developing, and it doesn't appear that they're on vision.
Yeah, Baron play is starting. They will not be continuing it here. Ooh, Ashwold is coming through. Well played there for Monkey to just go ahead and spell shield that Ashwold. Ooh, the Flash ult coming through, Flash Pillar. Trundle will actually get immediately destroyed. Hippogriff will be able to kill off Monkey, and Verd will go down as well in that fight, but not the worst it could have been for the Verdant Monkeys. Yeah. I mean, they still are picking up a kill or two here and there, but yeah, they're still very dangerous for them. This might actually be the end. Yeah.
Yep. Looks like it is.
Hippogriff coming through with another taunt. Really no
hero play.
Yeah, excuse me. There's no real damage coming out. Exhaust comes through. This is just going to be the end of the game. I mean, Teague will Teague will also go down as well. That'll just be the end of the game for the Footlongs. There's wow, that was quite a dominating performance from the Footlongs there. Gotta say, can't say I'm totally surprised. I mean, I think just looking at the draft, they got a lot of what they were comfortable with, and then some of that early game went pretty well for them. I think that was just a pretty textbook game for this team. They got what they wanted in draft. They were able to have a pretty comfortable early game, maybe gave up a couple drags, but were able to secure a gold lead, had farm leads across the board, and were able to just snowball that into victory.
Yeah, and I think it was, looking at the graphs, I'm chuckling a bit at the trundle damage. But I think that it's important to note that while they did get a lot of comfort and they did get a lot of what they wanted to do and were able to set the pace of the game, I do think there are still some things that they could change maybe next game if they want to either show versatility or just make sure that they have a similar performance to this one. I think
absolutely.
I
mean, it'll be interesting to see the change in draft, right? In terms of switching sides this time around. I'm curious to see what kind of strategies are changed for both teams. I will say one thing: you can't have what happened top lane happen again. Teague cannot be coming in and giving a kill over to Hippo, leading into Hippo getting another solo kill. That just can't be happening. Hippo had an absolutely monster performance, very well played from him. If Verdant Monkeys wants to win this game, they can't have that happen.
Yeah, and I think what do you think changes in terms of pick ban next game? Are you thinking we might see more top lane centered bans or more mid lane centered bans? Because I think that both players had very standout performances, although it's really hard to call out one standout performance on the Footlongs this game. But I think the Set and the Victor were very big contributors to the wins that we saw to the win that we saw just now. Do you think that changes at all?
Yeah, I'd say if there's really one big change that the Verdant Monkeys might want to make, it's possibly getting rid of that set or just finding something that they can deal with it better. Regardless, I think they also need to just have a stronger early game than that. They kind of gave a couple things here and there, did pick up a couple drags for it, but yeah, they're going to have to adjust a little bit. But we're going to get into a short break here for a couple minutes, and then we'll be getting back into game 2 here. So stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. We're looking to start into game 2 here. Had a pretty exciting game 1. Very, very strong performance from the Footlongs, and Monkeys are definitely going to have to change some things up here if they're going to want to go into the second game looking for the victory.
Yeah, I think that I don't know how much of that can be attributed to miscommunication, or bad communication at different points in the game. I think that there's a lot of stuff that they could look to change up to try and make the game easier on themselves in those early stages, specifically in lane matchups, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I would personally like to see, I think, that set ban from, or maybe even the pick away. I don't know if Tokimon plays set at all. I don't think he does. Then again, you have to ask the question of what do they drop if they are banning the set, because I do think the Seraphine, Senna, and Urgot are all pretty important bans against the Footlongs. So far, we're not seeing any differences, though. Seraphine and Zillion bans coming through again, respectively, for Tail Whip and Verd. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Senna ban here. Oh, no, there it is. They're banning the set.
Wow. Maybe
Good for them. I think that's possible. Yeah, they could actually pick the center for Toasty. Toasty has absolutely put some time on that champion in the past. I can say that from experience in Season 1. He played Senna on our team way back when, so wouldn't be surprised to see that first pick away from Tail Whip. Another Narban coming through against Tokimon. Wouldn't be surprised to see... Actually, I am interested to see what they'll ban here. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Kazakhs again. I don't know that the Kindred was scary enough for them to ban it. They could maybe consider the Morgana. But, yeah, we'll have to see what comes through here.
I feel like the Morgana was... Oh, they
there you go. That's a heads-up play for sure. I think they knew what was coming there. Which does mean that Kazakhs is up for Teague, and that is... I don't know if I'd have to double check. I don't know if I would say by far his most played champ, but definitely his most played champ, his most comfortable champ. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Teague's Kazakh coming through in this game.
Yeah, but it's... Oh, I was about to ask, do you think we see it first pick? But
no,
it looks like it's just going to be the Shen again.
Yeah, the Shen is also a slight pick away from Hippogriff, I believe. I believe I've seen some Hippogriff Shen in the past, but I'm really curious to see what Hippogriff plays here, because I haven't seen Hippogriff not play set in the past like 2 months. So we'll see. Victor and Trundle both coming through again for 12-inch and Althena. Not surprised to see that. Still some just continued comfort picks on those champions. I would expect if we are going to see a Kazakhs pick, it's got to be here, because I would be very surprised if they didn't ban Kazakhs in that second phase. So.
Yeah, I think it's also possible that after playing in game 1, they're just not as... Oh, it's a Rek'Sai. It looks like a Rek'Sai pick coming through.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I think it does have its merit alongside... That's an interesting pickup.
That was a Verd classic from Season 2 at the beginning of the season. We were having Verd play Anivia a lot, and that was when Anivia was a very strong champ at the time. The Yone is coming through for Hippogriff. They will let him play his comfort pick. That's exciting for sure. We'll see. Hippogriff is known to be a little hit or miss on this champ, so we'll see whether it is a hit or miss or not this game. I'd say based on last performance, he's probably coming off a high, so he'll probably be ready to put in another good performance this game.
That's true, and I mean, after first phase of pick ban, we have both entire top halves locked in, which I think is pretty interesting. It just leaves 80 carries and supports left to ban out.
Yeah, absolutely. No last picks for the solo lanes which is what we would typically see in a lot of these teams. But then again, I'm not totally surprised to see that with these two teams, because neither team has a mid or top lane captain. Because as most people know, I like to save the counter pick for my lane as a top lane captain. A lot of the mid lane, Yeah, a lot of the mid lane captains do the same thing, so not too surprised to
Yeah.
see the solo lanes coming through pretty quickly here. They're gonna let the Shaco come through again, and it will actually be picked up right away.
Yeah, and I think it might be better here now that the Morgana's banned. You don't have the Black Shield to contend with in lane.
Toasty. Oh goodness, if Toasty picks
Aphelios
Aphelios here, I think that would be a very, very bold pick. I think Aphelios is going to have a hard time until the very late stages of the game if they go with Aphelios here.
Yeah, and even if
that's not surprising.
Okay, Ezreal, yeah. I think Ezreal's a much safer pick here. If you just when looking at Aphelios into these top 3 plus a Shaco, it might be really hard for the Aphelios to actually get damage off because the Victor would be constantly pressuring him. And the Ezreal's overall, I think, a safer pick, especially when you have a pretty squishy comp developing out of Team Footlong. Just because the Trundle doesn't really have that many tanky stats to steal.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the ADC not picked here yet, there's definitely only going to be one singular tank coming through from that side, or even tanky champion. Period. The rest are going to be very squishy. I'm honestly liking the Verdant Monkeys team comp here. I think they've got a lot of options to be pretty safe. The one thing they're going to have to be a little aware of is they have a pretty bad engage. I mean, their best bet is a very telegraphed Rek'Sai tunnel or maybe a Shen flash taunt. But I mean, you're also looking at Yone and Ashe and Shaco who are going to be wanting to get on your team a lot. So they're probably not too worried about their own engage potential. I think they're also going to have to be thinking about the re-engage after the fights are happening, which perhaps Karma's a solid picture. I don't know if he'll build Shirelias or not, but it could be possible Shirelias into Mantra E and just throw the whole team into their team with all the movement speed buffs. But overall, I do like the draft better from the Verdant Monkeys this time around. I think it's important to get rid of that set, and that Hippo's been playing so much, and I think it's also important to just have a little more utility. I feel their team comp has more utility this time, especially with that Karma pick, shielding the whole team. I think Verd's Anivia, just from what I've seen, is probably a lot better than his Vel'Koz. Plus, I think it's just a more useful, more I don't know if I want to say more relevant pick in the meta right now, because I mean Vel'Koz is obviously not a relevant mid lane champion right now, but Anivia isn't exactly meta. I think she definitely fits the more traditional or more current, I would say, control mage.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that comes a lot from Anivia has a decent amount of agency, and ability to set up plays on her own with the Q stun. Vel'Koz has E, but it's not quite as fast. The one thing I'm concerned about, though, in this mid lane specifically, is that Victor matches up fairly well into Orianna, just in terms of both range and then in terms of the level 6 all-in. Victor ult will repeatedly, or sorry, I said Orianna, I meant Anivia. Victor ult will repeatedly cancel Glacial Storm, so the Anivia might have a lot of trouble actually pushing out the wave and maintaining safety at level 6, especially if Alfina is able to get ahead early.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd have to, just to add to that, like we saw last game, there were a couple of Ashe ults that came through and clipped Verd in the mid lane, which Anivia's got to be equally afraid of that as Vel'Koz does. Both are very easy to kill should that happen, so Verd's going to have to watch out for that one as well.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, this game, I think we're in for an explosive one. I think Team Footlong, it's going to be very obvious when they go in, right? You've got the Yone ult coming out, you've got the Ashe arrow. You've got a Shaco clone sort of just kind of running his way in there, getting ready to pop. I like it. I think it's going to be very fun to watch.
Absolutely. I think this will be a fun game for sure. I think this will be a little different from last game in that I think both teams, I think, had a lot of comfort, had a lot of typical picks for their team, had a lot of, I guess, just regular kind of straightforward gameplay, whereas this, I think is, especially from the side of the Footlong, is going to be a lot more sporadic. You've got a lot more damage coming through, a lot more engage options. So I think this game will be pretty kill heavy compared to the last, although there were still plenty of kills last game. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get a lot of skirmishes and a lot of fighting, especially in the early to mid game here.
So something I've just noticed looking back at it again also is that Team Footlong is the exact same comp with the Yone top lane.
Yeah, that's correct. That is correct.
I'm not sure if the Yone slots in better or worse than the set on an individual level. But I think it will be interesting to see how it plays into Tokemon's Shen. Especially when Hippogriff doesn't get that early injection of gold like we saw last game.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as Hippo doesn't get that huge lead early on that he did before, I think Yone just functions as a champion significantly worse in the early game than Set does. So
yeah,
they won't have to worry about that heavy pressure from the top side as long as they aren't giving him a couple early kills this game. But we are getting out here onto the Rift. Got a pretty typical 5-point here from both teams. Looks like we won't be seeing any invades to start off.
Yeah. And I mean
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Oh, that's an... Do you know if Shaco had Guardian last game?
I'm not sure.
I think he changed it. I think he was Comet last game. Unless I'm completely wrong.
I do not remember. One thing to note is Ashe does not have the exhaust this time. Ashe has the heal.
Ooh.
Which I think... I'm not sure why the change. Yeah, Doran Shield as well. I'm not sure why the change in Summoners, because I think I would be equally scared as an ADC to have a Rek'Sai jumping on me than a Kindred, if not more of the Rek'Sai.
So. And I mean, yeah, I would agree. But at the same time, when you look at like the utility you'd get out of bot lane or out of the exhaust bot lane, I think it's a lot less. I think that it was a really good tech choice into the Tristana. Because Tristana wants to hop on you and 100 to 0 you, but can't really do it through exhaust. But here with the Ezreal and the Karma, you're going to be seeing a larger percentage of their damage come out from outside of exhaust range.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. I think that's an excellent point. Would have to agree. There is the a lot less scary ADC coming at you this time, at least in terms of all-in potential. Nothing too crazy happening here, though. I mean, we got both junglers. Looks like 12-inch is actually going for the full clear, whereas interesting, Rek'Sai has cleared Raptors. Yeah, he was returning down to the bot side to go onto the Krugs. I gotta say, the only way I can think this is a correct move is if you're going to be immediately ganking bot lane, which is definitely very possible. I mean, they are already pushing in on the side of the Verdant, or excuse me, on the Footlongs. Just has to be a little afraid of running into some Shaco boxes that'll just completely shut down his gank. But it does look like he will be coming in here for this early gank. I don't believe he has not been. No, he hasn't been spotted. Coming in at a Tailwhip. Tailwhip has to immediately flash. Flash comes through from Teague as well. They will actually be able to secure the first blood. Well played there from the Verdant Monkeys.
And they get all stuns.
Irep is... What's he doing? I
thought he was going for the execute, but...
Yeah, I don't know why.
Trading?
He also used his Ignite. I'm a little... It's going to be a free kill for Toasty. I'm pretty confused by that play. I thought he would have been fine to just run out the side there, or at least execute, but he just kind of turned back around into all three members and then just kind of died. I don't know. That's interesting. But all four sums there down from the bot lane of the Footlongs. This is certainly looking like a much stronger early game here for the Verdant Monkeys.
Yeah, and it's important to note that the Verdant Monkeys didn't blow anything. Except for the they didn't blow anything bot. The Rek'Sai flash was the only thing that came out, and now...
Very quick flash there from... Althena, as soon as he sees that Rek'Sai approaching in the mid lane. That's a lot of flashes down. I mean, he may not have cleared his top side at all yet, which it looks like 12-inch is actually punishing quite hard and will be quite a bit ahead of farm for that.
My.
Yeah, Hippo taking a very strong trade there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rek'Sai is looking at some very, very enticing repeat ganks here between mid and bot with no sums being up. Although 12 inch is getting very strong here, having gotten his entire jungle. Didn't get both scuttles, but will be getting all of Rek'Sai's topside here, and is basically
and
double
even
farm.
The one little wolf up, but the camp won't respawn in time for the Rek'Sai. Oh, it looks like Teague is actually making a very smart move, just kind of guessing his topside's been completely counter jungled. And
yeah, Teague's going to be looking. No, he's going to be
repeat?
looking for the repeat gank. He knows that there's going to be traps and wards. So they're just going to repeat onto the Ashe without the flasher. Monkey goes in a little too aggressive to start with, but that will be another kill. Monkey actually picks up the second kill onto Ashe. Probably not exactly where you want your gold to be going, but well played there from Teague, knowing that they're going to have warded out the river, and takes a very long path around to repeat gank the Ashe without the flash. And this is looking pretty solid for them in this early game, aside from maybe the farm deficit in the jungle.
Yeah, and a little bit of the top lane. But honestly, as much as we were critical of... great going.
There's a good taunt there from Tokimon. Barely did not catch Hippo within the turret range. If he did, he was 100% dead there, but...
yeah. And I mean, I know that we were really critical for the first gank of IREP anti-flash's pathing to try and get out the first time. But I thought there he played it really well. He got out.
Yeah, that time he knew, with no sums from their bot lane, he knew his ADC was dead and he was getting himself out this time.
Oh yeah.
Looks like 12 inch will be getting the third scuttle of the game, continuing his increasing lead in the jungle, clearing out this ward as well. See if he starts the drag. He does.
Looks like he does.
Looks like the bot lane from Verdant and Monkeys will know this is happening and kind of come up to push him off a little bit. He knows he can't get away with that right now, so he will back off and go back into his jungle, which actually will be clearing the ping here. We'll see if they actually start it in response.
Yeah, and I mean, they will. Grab.
Yeah, they will be starting this in response, but they just have such a lead on the bot lane, especially with the sum still being down from Ashe, that this should just be a free drag from them immediately.
Yeah, and it looks like 12 inch is kind of weird. He left his blue buff up on the bot half.
I think he just passed it, and it wasn't up yet. I think he's just trying to be efficient in terms of getting all of his camps, and then he'll probably donate that buff to his mid laners. And considering he does not need the gold right now, with as far ahead as he is most farm in the game, which we'll have to see if this strat is going to work out for him. I mean, he's very ahead in farm, but no successful ganks or even gank attempts in this game so far. So we'll see if he's able to carry with this gold lead of his.
It's interesting to think what can a Trundle do with more gold, and
right.
It's the same thing he does with no gold, except he does it a little better, right?
Yeah, we'll see how much damage he builds. Looks like he will actually be going for this gank in the top lane. The ult will come through, but Tokimon will flash it. Yes, very well played from Tokimon there. Good flash, knowing that ult is coming through. Will get out of the gank just fine. Teague may be looking to gank Hippo in the top lane here. We'll be able to get into that brush unseen. Actually gets into the second one as well. See if he gets anything off here. I'm guessing he's going to wait for Hippo to possibly use his E to go in. Yeah, absolutely. He's waiting for Hippo. Hippo will get caught by the taunt and see if they're able to finish him off. He flashes out. He gets very low.
Red buff?
Oh, he snags him with the Q in the end. Very well played from Teague there to be able to finish that kill off in the end. Well played to wait on the gank. Oh, but 12 inch is coming through for this kill onto Tokimon. They have to be very careful here. He looks like he might be able... Ooh, they're actually both going to be able to get out just fine. Wow. There's no follow-up pillar here coming through because he already used it.
And Teague with the thumbs up.
Yeah, absolutely. To stick around, kind of threaten Trundle, say, if you get any closer to my Shen, I'm just going to knock you up right away. And that is another free kill for the side of the Verdant Monkeys. This is looking like a very comfortable game for them. Again, aside from just there's a CS deficit in both mid and jungle. Aside from that, they are getting exactly everything they want this game.
Yeah, I think this looks like almost an entirely different game, and Teague is performing much better than I think he did in game 1, with some really nice pathing to get around wards and get around vision, and get off these good quality ganks. Punish the use of sums.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
12-inch will be taking away that red buff, or excuse me, blue buff there, continuing his counter jungling, as he's probably feeling pretty comfortable about the fact that no one's going to stop him from doing it.
Yeah, he seems pretty strong.
Rek'Sai actually looking a little bit into the... Oh, he's not looking at the enemy jungle. He's looking for another gank on the top lane, knowing that Hippo has no flash and likely no ult. Back up yet. Can't quite see if that cooldown is up, but the taunt already comes through. He will be coming through. He gets the knock up. Hippo will ult out. The Ezreal ult actually comes through and gets the assist, and that will be another kill onto Hippo in the top lane there. Again, just another free kill for them on the side of Verdant Monkeys. The CS lead's not going to matter if they just keep getting free kills like this. They're continuing to expand their gold lead. They're up almost 1k at this point. There's going to be another drag coming up relatively soon here. They're definitely going to want to leverage. Ooh, actually, once again, 12-inch is looking... Oh, TP actually comes through from Hippo. Once again, 12-inch was looking for that gank onto Tokimon, and Teague is just there to cover him. Very well played from the jungle top duo there.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at it, Tokimon burn teleport there in order to get back to the wave. Or sorry, not Tokimon. Hippogriff burn teleport there to be able to get back to the wave, and now it means that he won't have it for this next dragon fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Tokimon's got ult and then teleport, so it's possible that if the tower's under any threat, he can ult down and teleport back to wave. So I think that's actually a huge win, forcing the teleport out of Hippogriff.
Oh, absolutely. And that teleport, honestly, I think was... I don't know if Hippo was even going to try necessarily to heavily follow up on that play, considering he didn't have ult. He had just used it before. I think he was just getting kind of a greedy teleport back to lane. And that's definitely going to hurt them when it comes to going for this dragon, because the nice thing about having teleport on Shen is it's a little scary if you need to use your ult and maybe you don't get anything and then you can't get back to lane, but he can always just save his TP, ult to dragon, then just ult right back and not even lose anything for it. So this is definitely going to be a 4v5 this next dragon.
Yeah, and I mean, it's possible he might even be able to save the ult. He's already... Well, I guess he's not moving down. He's moving down to take the Scuttle Crab, but... I don't know.
Yeah, actually, though...
That's really nice. It protects the Rift Herald trade.
I will say, actually, about the... actually, a fight coming through the Shen ult will be coming through. The box will fear most of the team, and there will really be no potential follow-up through. I mean, that was pretty ambitious, in my opinion, to go for that. I mean, they kind of felt a little forced, but they should be able to turn it into Dragon with Tailwhip's low HP bar. Maybe that's all they were wanting there. Unless 12-inch is hovering around here, he may be looking to steal. Both junglers do have their smite upgrades for the... Oh, actually, Monkey will go down already. The team was a little split on that decision. Oh, wait. Okay, 12-inch once again has smited the dragon to stay alive, and that will be another objective for... Oh, 12-inch, you have to be careful here. This fight should not be continuing as long as it is. They don't need to chase through an Anivia. Trading one kill there. Footlongs are finally on the board with a single kill onto, once again, the gold going onto 12-inch here. But in the end, they will pick up that second dragon, and this is still a very nice trade for the Verdant Monkeys. I mean, one kill for dragon, you'll take that any day.
Oh, yeah. And you get first move on the Rift Herald if you want it, and it doesn't look like you want it. But yeah, I mean, it's honestly forcing out the smite from 12-inch, Whitehole there. Really nicely played by Teague and basically everyone involved in that play.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say the one saving factor here is maybe not at where you'd expect it from the 0-2-0 Yone, but he actually does still have 1,000 gold lead on on Tokimon in the top lane here, and I mean it's not much considering how much otherwise it's in favor of the Verdant Monkeys here, but it's certainly not hopeless. I mean, Yone's got a lot of farm right now. It's definitely has huge carry potential, so definitely not hopeless for the other team at this point, but they are going to need to get a dragon away from this Ocean Soul if they are not going to want to lose this game in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, but as much as the gold lead, as much as the 5-1 tells you, if we look back at the gold really quickly, we can actually see that pretty much every lane is either just a little bit down or a little bit ahead on behalf of fight? No, okay. So on the behalf of the footlongs, we can see that like every lane is reasonably close, if not ahead. Like 80 carries down 200 gold, mid lane's up 100, jungle is actually up 700 in spite of the 202 scoreline from the Rek'Sai, and top lane's up 1,000 gold.
Ooh, actually, the fight is starting out here. The Ashel will come through onto the Rek'Sai. Oh, Rek'Sai will get burst before he is able to flash or ult away. I don't think this is going to turn into anything else. Irep is getting very low. Oh, actually, Monkey will be able to kill Irep there. They're continuing to chase. The root will come through onto Tillo. Tillo actually getting very low as well. Toasty is very strong here. Oh, the Channel comes through to save Monkey. Toasty getting another kill here actually gets the shutdown from the Trundle. Tailwhip is definitely dead here as well. He's got no flash, no heal in the middle of the enemy jungle. We'll see who is maybe able to get up this kill. I don't think it's...
Is this an execute?
I'm not sure. Oh, it is long enough to execute. Okay, well played there by Tailwhip. They were not able to find that kill on him as well, but that was a very... what happened on the top lane here? Both flashes burned.
Yeah, it looks like...
very low. It's like nothing, no kills happening, but...
I'm pretty sure that Hippogriff went deep to try and cancel the Shen ult and got it off, but probably got chunked a little bit to tower due to that. Due to the
Teague. Teague looking for Hippo here. Will he find him? Oh, Teague is not able to find him. Actually, I don't think he even saw him before he went back to base. And now he's continuing to look through to find him there. But
yeah, and
once again, I mean that's. Well, I'll just say real quick about that last is that this is still very worth for the Verdant Monkeys due to the shutdown going on to the Ezreal there. I mean, your Ezreal is huge at this point.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, at the same time, despite the score line and how bad it looks, I don't think that the footlongs are out of the game at all. I think that they're actually ahead in gold, even though they're down 5 kills.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say the primary thing about that is just where your gold is allocated, and as strong as Ezreal's getting, he's almost like there's a lot of gold on this Trundle right now, and there's probably, I mean, there's farm, but Ezreal's just straight up 2 kills into his assists over if we consider that farm equal. So Ezreal's going to be very strong going into these fights, and there's really, other than Yone, not much potential to kill him. I mean, maybe Irep could, but it looks like to me that he's going towards that Moonstone build again, which means he's not really an assassin aside from having an ignite. So I think Toasty with a Karma support is pretty free to just take over these fights with as strong as he is right now. He's almost he's 24 mana away from completing the Mirror Mana, which will be a huge factor in this next dragon fight, which is up currently.
Is it going to be a fight? Because it looks like Footlong's bot lane is just kind of zoning out, or zoning them out.
Footlongs have already started it. They've got the Herald started. Dragon's getting low. Fight is coming through. Both TPs coming through. But it looks like 12-inch will be able to finish off this dragon. Taunt comes through onto Hippo. Hippo, not really hitting an ult on anything. It's like nothing's really going to come of this. Verd is kind of looking here. Ooh, Verd gets a... Verd, you have to be careful. Verd does have his passive up. Jig is able to get the ult off before he goes down. Some very low health bars. A couple kills coming through actually in the favor of the Footlongs pretty heavily. Toasty is the last hope here for this fight, and that is a very heavily won fight there from the Footlongs. 4 for 1. I gotta say, that was a little ambitious there from Verd. I think Verd was just not in a great position the entire time. That fight coming through from the side, the flank is not necessarily the worst thing you can have from your mid laner, but it's certainly not great when you're on an Anivia who just gets turned on and killed right away. So,
and I mean, the wall even, the idea was good, right? The wall was solid, you cut off 2 people, it would have been better if you pincered 1. but it didn't look terrible until he got collapsed on one shot, which I know happened really quickly, but not until that point.
Yeah, if he was maybe able to snag the Trundle away from the rest of the team and the Victor was not able to just turn on him right there, then that definitely could have turned out quite good for him. But
yeah,
really, I think as a whole, the Verdant Monkeys just needed to be there sooner because you see the triple pinks there on the, or excuse me, double pinks there on the pit, as well as the Shaco boxes that were littering the river. There was just no way that the Verdant Monkeys was going to get in there comfortably with the amount of vision and control that was already set up by the Footlongs.
Teague? Potentially looking for a counter gank.
Teague's just chilling, man. He's just hanging out.
I think that's the first arrow I've seen miss all series.
Yeah, looking for it, but did not find it. Teague, once again, he's chilling, man. He's just enjoying the bush. He's hanging out. He's still hanging. There we go. There we go. He finally
is remarkably still.
Yeah, I think maybe there was a little. Oh, Teague is going for a different spot to chill, and it. Oh, the Shennel is actually coming through. Oh, the Prowler's Call follows through. Yeah, that'll be a free kill onto Teague. See who picks it up here, or excuse me, onto Althena. Teague will pick it up. Well played from them. They did have to burn Flash as well as Shennel and Rek'Sai ult, but definitely worth it in the end to get that. I believe that was a shutdown, and they will turn that into the Herald as well. Ooh, bot lane of the Verdant Monkeys taking the plan over, probably not expecting to find two Shakos right in their face there, but looks like they will be able to get away just fine. IREP actually getting quite low. Yeah, they have to be careful here. I mean, Ezreal, once again, Ezreal is very strong here, and by this point has his Mirror Mana item completed. He's going to be doing a lot of damage in these fights. Teague actually looking for Hippo. Hippo looking, meanwhile, for Bird. Bird should get killed by the snapback, yeah, and then Hippo will be fine. There's no follow-up there.
That was really nice out of Hippo.
Yeah, we'll play there from Hippo there. We're getting a little too close, especially with having no Zhonya's or passive there. And it's able to just... excuse me, Hippo is able to just pick up the kill. Yeah, Teague is back in the bush there, walking away. Yeah, this is definitely turned around for the Footlongs here. They've slowly just kept their farm advantages and are turning that into a just huge gold lead across the board. Again, ooh, the Ash Arrow will connect with Teague. Oh my goodness, Teague is just blown up. He is gone. Very well played there from Tail with finding him out with that arrow. But yeah, like I was just saying, these gold differences in the top and jungle, particularly from farm, are just hugely growing. I mean, that is a 70 farm lead in top lane and a 60 farm lead in the jungle. I mean, we're 2,000 gold essentially in both matchups. Like, this is really where this game is starting to fall out of the favor of the Verdant Monkeys. Is just the
good steal.
Hippo is looking for the kill. IREP actually comes in. His stealth lasts long enough that he won't be caught out there, but
and I think
I wouldn't be surprised to see this dragon. Actually, teams Footlongs are recalling right now. Verdant Monkeys, if they can get over there, may be able to pick up a pretty free dragon here. We'll see if they can get to it. Both teams need to be heading there now. I mean, it's up in 20 seconds and no one's there yet, so...
Yeah, and it looks like Althena's just taking the blue buff before walking back down.
Hippo is splitting in the Hippo's splitting the top lane with the TP. They are going to be... Yeah, they're going to have to be careful here because he's already on a tower. So if they are taking too long for this fight, he's going to have this tower down. I mean, no one's going to be able to stop that. But they've actually already started the dragon up and are looking for the fight. Oh, the Ash ult connects with the Anivia, and the Anivia will just go down. He does have his passive up. Ooh, Smite comes through. Dragon goes over to blue team. The fight continues, though, as Verd goes down. Tokimon goes down. Multiple members down from the Verdant Monkeys. They do pick up the dragon, which is very important for them, because if they can turn... They're now in Soul Point. If they can turn this dragon into Soul, they will be in a much better position than they are now. However, the Footlongs are going to be turning this play into Baron.
Yeah, and I think that's... I know it sounds weird when you trade a Baron and 3 kills, but I do think it's good for the Team Verdant Monkeys to get that trade rather than getting nothing, potentially.
Yeah, it's definitely...
Even though they went down 3 kills and they're losing here that taking the Ocean Dragon off the table and losing all these resources, all this gold, is a solid way to play to your win con to an extent.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it definitely could have gone a lot worse for them there. Their best hope here is to pick up that Ocean Soul and then stall out for this Ezreal to continue to get huge. I mean, Ezreal is definitely a champion that can heavily carry as time goes on. I mean, that champion's damage scales insanely hard. So we'll see just how they can use that to their advantage. He still has not been killed at all, which means he's probably got a sizable shutdown. Oh wait, no, he doesn't have a shutdown at all at this point. Oh. Weird. Regardless, he's got a lot of gold on him, so this is going to be, I think, where we're going to need to look for... Oh, Monkey caught by the pillar. The Ashwold actually will come through as well. Monkey's
he died instantly.
Immediately killed. Yeah, that was very sad to watch. It's going to be difficult, even with an Anivia, to push through with the Baron.
Yeah.
Although, looks like they will be giving up this... Oh, actually, they're looking for Hippo here. TP will come through immediately from Althena. Good from...
really good defensive teleport there.
Yeah, good TP. Good for Verdant Monkeys to get that TP out. Maybe waste a little bit of time on Baron. However, there's no one there to defend the mid lane with Ezreal. Ezreal can't clear this solo. Yeah. So this tower is going to be getting hit by this cannon minion. Although there will not be too much damage coming down on it just yet. Baron play... Excuse me. Baron play so far is not looking too crazy for Footlongs. They did pick up one kill in one tower, but as long as the inhib towers are not broken on this play, I think the Verdant Monkeys will be just fine.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely
solo kill. Yeah, solo kill there in the bot lane. Hippo.
Kill.
Yeah, Hippo will pick up the kill onto Shen. That is very bad for Verdant Monkeys now that their Shen has died in the side lane. A little bit of a fight continuing, actually. Monkey getting a little close. Actually, 12-inch taking a lot of damage. Ezreal will get hit by the Ashwold. Yeah.
I was sitting here thinking, there's still a tier 1 tower up, or a tier 2 tower up. Why is IREP going so deep?
The mid tower will... Oh, actually, Hippo on the back trying to find Teak. Will not quite get him there. Tower will go down. Bird, you have to be very careful. This bird is very low. Hippo's just going to kill him. Next tower is going to go down. I got to say, I think this is going to be the end of the game. I mean, Bird's down. That's their only potential wave clear. Yep. They probably will back off here just to be careful with the low health bars and not wanting to get this dragon up. Ooh, actually, T going in for the engage, looking for Hippo. Hippo taking a lot of damage, getting a massive shield here, but will still go down. Ezreal gets a big shutdown from that. They're going to be looking for this chase, but we'll run into a couple of Shaco boxes. Ooh, okay. Well played there from Tokimon, but Tailwhip is able to trade his flash away in order to get out of there. That's a really good pick for them right before Dragon's coming up. If they can somehow leverage that into a little bit of vision control, that would be really good for them. Again, this is their absolute last hope here, having both those inhibs go down. Absolute last hope is to get this Ocean Soul to be able to stall out even longer. So we'll see. I mean, as we're all aware, smites are basically always 50-50s now, right? With everyone having 900 damage smites, so maybe T can get in there and steal it. We'll have to see what happens here.
If you Prowler's Claw through the Dragon and then smite, it does 1150.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll work, I don't know if it'll happen, but I know that it's an interaction.
Interesting. I definitely did not know that. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, looks like Footlongs definitely have the advantage coming in here. Fortunately for Verdant Monkeys, they have been able to get this... Oh, they're looking to maybe cheese them, but they've got vision. I mean, fortunately for Verdant Monkeys, they've got vision in multiple places. Ooh, Ashero coming through will connect with Teak, but the Anivia wall will just cut off the team from following up on that. Very well played from Anivia. Oh, Monkey will taking a huge chunk of damage and will actually just go down. IREP is able to take him out. Oh, Althena is caught on the side. Teague is able to just destroy him. They are popping the Anivia passive. Anivia is receiving the Shen ult. I think that was a little premature. You could have gotten more shielding if he was lower. Toasty is still alive in this fight, has to be very careful, but it's just not looking good for Verdant Monkeys as the rest of the team goes down. Tokimon's still alive, but he likely will not be able to... Oh, the TP coming through from Hippo here. Toasty is finally going to be shut down. The kill will go on over to Hippogriff, and that will be the end of the game for the Footlongs. A clean, mostly clean 2-0 from them. Maybe a little rocky in the early game here, but very well played across the board from the Footlongs.
Yeah, it was really nice, and I think everybody pulled their weight. There were some incredible Ashe ults out of Tailwhip this series, both Game 1 and Game 2. Althena with 2 excellent Victor performances. 12-inch making Trundle Jungle look like a top tier. And then Hippogriff also showing some versatility in picks. Yeah, great performances on both the Yone and the Set.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it was a great series.
Gotta agree, very well played from the Footlongs here. I will say slightly unfortunate for the Verdant Monkeys as they didn't have their jungler. Regardless of how good their replacement is, it's tough to play with someone new as a team. So definitely don't count them out based on these games. I mean, they had some solid looks, and they didn't even have their main jungler with them. So we'll see how they look in the weeks to come. But in the meantime, we're going to have to pick a MVP here of this game. See if we can get in for a little post game interview. And I gotta say, I would like to give it to Hippo. I mean, that Game 1 performance was an absolute stomp. Game 2, he did get ganked a couple times, but still ended up coming through strong, farming incredibly well, almost Flame Horizon Tokimon there, solos him in the end. Very strong performance from Hippo across the board here.
You know, I might be biased. I'm a top laner too, but I do think that Hippo is, he performed really well both games. In the first game, he put up great numbers. He established himself a great lead on his own, really on his own in both games. And an important thing to note is that on Team Footlong, he is the only person who have played 2 champions this series. So I think that he is more than deserving of the interview.
I will say I don't think so. Normally, I would have some permissions here to move Hippo in here, despite the cap on the lobby. However, I do not, as we have an unusual. We had a slight issue, so either if there's some kind of admin around here that could move Hippo in here for us, if that's not the case, we could just move up to one of the other teams and have Hippo join us there. Let's just go ahead and do that. Let's move up to... Okay, Hippo's in front to back. Let's join him up there.
All right.
Hello?
Hello, Hippo. See if Schmelf will join us in a second here. But... Oh, he can't join... Oh, okay, he's not in TCL, right?
Do we need to join another lobby?
Yeah, let's just move down to LOL lobby.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that, everyone. We have Hippogriff here for the interview. Hippo, that was a very, very strong, convincing performance from you Game 1 and Game 2. Maybe started a little shaky just with a couple early ganks coming on top of you, but you were able to keep a very consistent, strong farm lead throughout and still be a very relevant force on your team. Can you, first off, talk me through what were you thinking when you saw that set ban? I mean, you've been playing that champ basically nonstop for like 2 months now. Were you excited to see a ban to get to play something else, or
Definitely. Yeah. So we started out the season 12 inches like we're gonna play the same thing over and over and over till we get around 40 games on it. And I was like, we were like, bet. And so people are wondering, what do we do when we ban that comp that you played? That comp that we played is our second string comp. And so if Yone is left open after Set's banned, like I play him. Like he's my most played. And so yeah, I don't other thoughts. I don't know why Spirit had sorry, Spirit. I don't know why Toki was ranked number 2. I really don't. Toki's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but this is more of a shot at Spirit than it is Toki. I don't know why like all the other top laners he was put there, but nonetheless he was a good lane opponent. The first game, you know, honestly the Kindred kind of walked into me, and so I took it and kind of ended the lane. Not really much Toki could have done there. It was already a kind of a painful lane for him to play. And then game 2, you got to dump resources into me or I will get strong. And they dumped resources into me, but I still had the farm lead. So
yeah, absolutely, very well played there. Funny to hear that you're excited to not play Set. Not totally surprised. Glad to hear that you're able to play Yone with this team, not held back by Abarn.
True. For once, I'm freed from his shackles.
True,
the dictator
true.
Abarn.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping in here. Got anything else to say other than, you know, Flame and Pokemon and Spirit at the same time?
This is something that I told Toasty. It's Top Kingdom Bot Island.
Ooh,
Sorry,
Top Kingdom Bot Island. Some more flame coming out from Hippogriff here. Regardless, very well played. Strong performance coming through on the 2-0 for this week. Congratulations. And yeah, we'll see you guys again next week. Waj and Schmelf, can we move back up to the caster booth, please?
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, everyone. We will be closing out the stream here. Pretty strong performance there from the Footlongs. Excited to see what Verdant Monkeys will have in the weeks to come with their jungler coming back in. But yeah, you got any closing thoughts for us, for Schmelf?
Beyond what you said, not really. I'm really pumped to see how both of these teams look going forward. I know that Hippogriff just alluded to this being the second string comp, so I'm kind of curious what happens when you start slotting out other things in the composition.
Right.
But ultimately, I think that both of these teams, Team Verdant Monkeys especially, are like postured to get stronger as the season goes on, especially especially after Team Verdant Monkeys gets, you know, time with their main jungler on stage, and the ability to see how they play in the dynamics there. So I'm really excited for both teams going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we definitely saw good potential out of both teams. Excited to see how it will continue as the season goes on. Thanks to Waj for stepping up for production. Thank you, Schmel, for joining the production team. Happy to have new people around. As for the rest of the week, we got 2 more matches this week. Tomorrow we will have Control versus Mid, everyone's favorite classic matchup of the mid lane dominant captains facing off against one another. So join us back again tomorrow to see the action unfold.